Point number two, why American exception is not over. And people said this economic policy is going to lead to disaster, not just trade, migration, unfunded fiscal deficit, breaking the rule of law, weakening independence of the Fed, and so on. Since April 2nd, I've said something, there's a little bit of a slogan. It says, tech trumps tariffs. And what do I mean by tech trumps tariff? I believe that the technology innovation we are seeing today are the most important in human history, literally. And while everybody's obsessed about the Gen AI and machine learning, it's only one part of the piece. There are a dozen or more industries of the future that are going to boom in the next few years. Is AI machine learning, a new version of it? Is semiconductors, robotic automation and humanoid robots? Biomedical research going to make us live healthier and longer? It's going to be a spatial exploration and exploitation, quantum computing and its merger with AI. In a world of geopolitical depression, everybody is going to spend more on defense, but the nature of defense is becoming defense tech, as we saw in the war between Russia, Ukraine, or Israel and Iran. So it's defense tech. In energy, it's not just renewable and clean tech and green tech, but it's going to be also a revolution in fusion, a new form of energy. Gives an unlimited amount of energy, zero greenhouse gas emissions, and there is nothing like a radioactive uranium to be disposed, like in the case of nuclear fission. This is a nuclear fusion. Then you have fintech, you have agtech, you have new cryptography, new material science. So there is a Cambrian explosion of new technology of the future. And I've argued, and I'm not going to go into detail, that I think that in a good optimistic scenario, potential growth in the United States by the end of this decade is going to be closer to 4%. The official estimate is 1.8 to 2%. So you have an upside of 200 basis points of growth. And it's going to accelerate further in the next decade as we're going to reach eventually from AI also AGI, artificial general intelligence. Now, what is the maximum negative impact on growth that bad policies, stagflation like trade, migration, and so on can impose? I looked at the estimates, and given the reasonable amount of tariff we've seen, is maybe 50 basis points. So you have an upside of 200 basis points, you have a downside of 50, ratio of 200 to 50 is 4 to 1. So tech trumps tariffs. So tech is a first-order effect on potential growth, while all the other stagflationary policies have much less of an impact on potential growth. So that's why American exception is not over. It's not over because if you did believe that US was in American exceptionalism when the official estimates of potential growth in the US were only 1.8%, in a world we're going to go towards 3 and then 4 in the next few years, of course, American exceptionalism is going to be even more relevant. So this idea that US is doomed when US is number one in the technology of the future. I would say it's US and China in this dozen of technology. We can discuss which one of them is US ahead, which one of them is China. By the way, it's not a zero-sum game. Both of them can benefit because it's their general purpose technology, that one benefit the other. But it's US and China, everybody else comes after. After you have, of course, Japan, you have Israel, you have India, you have South Korea, Taiwan, even some pockets of excellence in Europe, but Europe is way behind. So it's a story between US and China. I think both of them are going to do well for a reason I'm not going to discuss right now. I think US is going to do better in some of the more critical technologies like AI, semiconductors, quantum, fusion, defense tech, and you name it. So American exception is going to become even stronger rather than weaker in this scenario.